I am the chairman of the National SCNC, UK, National Cameroon National Council in the UK.
Yeah. The National, sorry?
Cameroon National Council.
Okay, so do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Manji. I am the chairman of the National SCNC, UK, National Cameroon National Council in the UK.
Yeah. The National, sorry?
Cameroon National Council, SCNC UK.
So currently in Cameroon, there is some conflict, but there's been a lot of a lot of media attention has been shut down, basically. A few weeks ago on my show, we tried to talk to some brothers from Cameroon directly, and they were very scared about being heard on the phone. So a lot of them wouldn't speak at all. They hung up the phone a lot of the time. They wouldn't speak. Could you enlighten us as to what's happening and what they are worried about in Cameroon?
As I speak to you now, Cameroon is one of the most dangerous countries in sub-Saharan Africa in terms of the gross abuse of human rights.
Yeah.
Southern Cameroon is an English part of Cameroon.
Yeah.
And the problem that we have is caused by the UK government and the UN.
Okay.
You know, after the end of the Second World War, the UN prepared European countries to go down to Africa and prepare countries for them to get their independence. Yeah. In that light, Britain was given the mandate to prepare Southern Cameroon for independence. And East Cameroon, under France, was given that same jurisdiction. Now, in 1961, we were supposed to be granted independence. The sad thing about this story is that the UN and the British government, rather than preparing us to have our independence, they gave us an option that we could either have independence either by joining Nigeria or by joining French Cameroon.
Okay.
Now the question I ask you, how do you say someone should be granted independence? By choice? Independence means you're free on your own to govern yourself.
Yep.
And what I must take this opportunity and take this show is that the case of Southern Cameroon is very unique in itself.
Yeah.
Unique in the sense that we were an independent country between 1953 and 1961. A replica of the Westminster set of government. We had a prime minister that was democratically elected. And that comes to the point where I can assure you and I can confirm to you that Southern Cameroon was the first democratic country in sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah.
We had a House of Chiefs and a House of Parliament.
Okay, yeah.
Until 1961, we had this plebiscite. Yeah. And this plebiscite had a clause that there were two nations of equal status coming together to form a union.
Yeah.
And we thought that at that time, we prefer to live with our neighbors in the east and form a very strong and vibrant Cameroon.
Yeah.
But little do we know that we were naive because the France, with the complicity of French Cameroon, had an agenda to colonize, to annex our people. Because most of 70% of the GDP of the resources come from English Cameroon. But on the other hand, we form we're about 20 million, so we're just about 8 million. So in terms of numbers, we are a minority.
Yeah.
So from 1961 to I speak to you now, all our institutions, like the airport, like the seaport, like the institutional system, you can name them, the police were all been decimated, destroyed, that nothing should ever exist like Southern Cameroon to this day by French Cameroon. So since 1961, there has been this gross injustice perpetrated on the people of Southern Cameroon by the UN and Her Majesty government. We are here today that for 57 years, non-Anglophone has ever ruled Cameroon. They've been ruled by a Francophone. And yet they tell us that we are one country and indivisible. You understand? Over the years, they have changed the name from Federal Republic of Cameroon to United Republic of Cameroon to Republic of Cameroon. Yeah. The name we have now was the name given to French Cameroon under the French government during the colonial area. So, in itself, English Cameroon does not exist. The flag that we had, showing that we're two countries that came together as equal, under equal status. Yeah. We're bearing two flags, two stars. They've technically, whimsically taken away one of the flags, one of the stars. And that means that English Cameroon does not exist when you look at the Cameroon flag. So this has been the injustice Over the years, our people have suffered. We have been called cockroaches in our own homeland. We have been called Biafrans. Biafra means people come from Nigeria, neighboring country. We have been called from fools. That is foolish people. You know, we call dogs, we call all sort of innuendos by the ruling government. Understand? And it has come to a point where in October 2016, the catalyst of this, the whole show, the lawyers from Southern Cameroon were asking that, look, it is enough. The civil law system, you understand, which is our law, is no longer practiced. Cameroon sends French judges to come and judge in the English court in a language our people cannot understand. So they were asking that, look, our civil law system should be honored and should be maintained. You understand? A peaceful demonstration was responded with repressive force by the ruling government. Our lawyers were tortured and solicited with their robes being destroyed. Teachers, the same thing. Our English system has been completely decimated by the Francophone system. And the teachers have gone on the street and said, look, we need our English system back. What did they do? This peaceful resistance, a peaceful demonstration was responded with proportionate force. Proportionate force. Understand? And that's what has happened. Since 2016, there has been this escalation of genocide in Southern Cameroon. As I speak to you now, there is war going on in Southern Cameroon. I cannot understand why the Commonwealth that built on the principle of democracy, built on the principle of the respect of human rights, has not expelled Cameroon from the Commonwealth. But I must assure you, and I must tell you that Cameroon is part of the Commonwealth today because of the English Cameroon. French Cameroon. And if we are being persecuted, if Paul Biya is causing gross human rights abuse in Southern Cameroon, why is the Commonwealth not expelling Cameroon from the gentleman's club? It means that they're practicing a double standard. We have been here on many occasions. We have asked Baroness Scotland to speak to the people of Southern Cameroon to tell us why they are quiet in the face of gross injustice, in the face of human disaster, in the face of human degradation. She hasn't said anything. She visited Cameroon, went there on a pleasure trip, on a safari trip. She was given a golden statue worth more than £50,000 by President Paul Biya. That is our wealth, those are our resources. And she sealed her lips. She don't say anything about the plight that's beyond our country. And we are tired and we are fed up. We are here now. We need to see her. She needs to book her and speak to us. She is there because of people like you, people like I. She's not there representing herself. We are angry, we are very, very distraught, we are confused, and we don't understand why the world is quiet in the face of injustice.
I think that's very important what you said there. And a lot of people might not realize that Baroness Scotland is, she's a, I believe, Jamaican-born lady who is supposed to represent us as part of the Commonwealth. She's the head of the Commonwealth.
That's right.
And she's had nothing to say on this issue at all. Has the British government at all responded to any of the issues?
That's a very good question. On many fronts, on many occasions, we have been demonstrating. We've been to the foreign sector. I've written letters personally to them. I've written to the Prime Minister under David Cameron, Theresa May. They have all come back to the same story, that Cameroon is one and indivisible, that they recognize the plebiscite of 1961 and that there's nothing they can do, that they cannot interfere in the territorial integrity of Cameroon. You understand? And I can ask myself, you were the one that caused this mess. You were the one that created this problem. You have a moral obligation to restore the wrongs of the past. You cannot be indifferent. I'm asking them, are British citizens more important than Southern Cameroonians? We all believe the same. So I believe that if there is injustice in Cameroon, the British government has a rule to restore the wrongs of the past. That's why we are here today.